Well, everybody, welcome back to the Trick Podcast of Joy and Goso TV on this beautiful Monday morning. It is almost noon, right? It's about 11:30 on this beautiful morning. So welcome back to my channel. How are you? Talking about how to be your true self. So let me know how you're doing. I can't wait to spend these few minutes with you. I have a voice class that I'm teaching at about noon or so, or maybe 12:30, depending. But I have a few minutes to be here with you. So let me know how you are, what you're up to, how life is going. As I said, talking about how to be your true self. It's an important topic that sometimes people say that to us all the time, or like, just be you. But at least for me, maybe it's just me. I've always wondered, well, who am I? Who's the real me? Besides, of course, that we're a child of God and loved by God. But, let's say, for example, you're going into a job interview, or you're dating someone, or you are trying to just simply go online and do something with social media. How do you present? How do you even discover who you really are? So I was going through this training the other day, so I thought I'd share it with you guys in terms of kind of what I've learned about that. And even though, as I said, I struggle with it myself, but I have learned a few things in terms of this topic. So let me know how you're doing. It's been a good morning. Just getting everything ready for this beautiful week. Had a great Sunday yesterday. If you haven't gone to our Instagram, make sure that you check out my Instagram. You'll see more pictures of kind of what's happening and what I'm doing musically, and teachings and trainings that I'm doing. A lot of great stuff, especially if you're watching me on Instagram. Thank you. By the way, I want to check out Instagram really quick, just because sometimes the the video because it's vertical or horizontal, I guess, normally here on my end. Sometimes on your end, it obviously chops it off. But I wanted just to see how everything is looking for you. Give me a thumbs up if you're doing well, if everything's looking good on your end. How are you doing? Where are you watching me from? All right, there it is. It looks great. So that's wonderful. Good to know. Plugging in my microphone here. Let me just type in a few comments here to say hello to all of you who are watching, talking, as I said today, about how to be your true self. How do you even know who you really are? How to discover who you are, how to do that, how to not be fake, or how to, if you are in a job interview, if you're dating someone, if you want to create content online, if you are at work and you feel like you're not really valued for who you are, how do you show up in the world as the true you? And so we're going to talk about that today on this beautiful Monday. How are you doing? We're going live here to 6-7 different platforms, especially I love Instagram. If you're watching me on Instagram, welcome, or on YouTube, or wherever you are, Facebook or Twitch, wherever you are, Twitter. Thank you so much for being here. But if you are an Instagram person, hop over there to @DavidTrigg so you can follow me there. But yeah, this week is going to be a powerful week. I'm looking forward to moving out my, moving, it sounds like I'm moving. What I meant to do is maybe diving into my summer plans. You know, this summer is almost over here, right? But I am teaching classes. So tonight I'm teaching I'm not teaching a class tonight. I'm recording with my friends tonight using my beats. And so it's a hip hop, Christian hip hop, these men of God who love Jesus. We're going to be recording tonight. So if you'd like to come over to the studio, please come by. It's here in the LA area, here at my church. And then, as I said, here later in about an hour or so, I'm teaching a voice class. So if you would like to learn how to sing better, and so breathing and all that. So I also teach piano, voice, bass, guitar, of course, my favorite. Actually, probably my favorite to teach is maybe even bass. I really enjoy bass. And so all those things are really great things. I'm also teaching on the other side of things, a class on how to overcome fear, anxiety, depression from a spiritual perspective, from a more of a biblical, give me a second here really quick, just hold on. So just teaching a few of these tools on how to be someone who is able to use biblical tools to overcome fear, anxiety, and some of these things. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know how life is going for you. Let me know what you're up to. How are you feeling today? What is everything? What is going on your end? How is life treating you? And hopefully you're doing great. How was your weekend? And all that good stuff. Just fixing a few things here for you. So yeah, leave me a comment below if you are watching me anywhere. So let me see here if I can just say hello. Hello there, everyone. Hello, world. Let's see if that shows up on the screen there. All right, there it is. Just testing that. Make sure that works. Great. So yeah, off to a great start here this morning. Yesterday was great. I really have enjoyed playing the Nord keyboard. You know, that red keyboard that if you're a musician, you see these keyboards everywhere. They're really awesome, and I really love those Nord keyboards. So we have one. Really been enjoying playing it. I also led worship yesterday. I taught on Psalm 24, which is a great psalm. It talks about how God is mighty in battle, how he is a warrior, how he is the King of kings and Lord of lords. The passage in Psalm 24 says, "Lift up your heads, O you gates, that the King of glory may come in." Who is this King of glory? The Lord mighty in battle. That's the phrase there in the Hebrew. One of the names of God is mighty in battle. And I was thinking of how we all are fighting a battle these days. You ever heard the phrase, be kind to each other? Everyone's fighting their own battle. It's so true, right? Are you fighting a battle these days? What's the battle that you're fighting? Are you fighting a battle within yourself, with someone else, at work? We all seem to be fighting a battle. I have relatives who are dealing with cancer, and they obviously are fighting the cancer battle. I have friends who are fighting a financial battle. They feel like it's that they don't know exactly how they're going to make ends meet. A lot of people are fighting the battle of just their own minds, the mental battle, the internal tapes and posts that give them fear, or that give them, or that cause us to feel anxious or depressed. Or maybe your battle is just with health. You're struggling to get back into shape after these last 2 years of craziness. It might be this Delta variant and all that goes with the masks here in the LA area. We're back to wearing masks. So maybe the battle is with all of that stuff. Everyone's fighting a battle, but the Bible says that the battle belongs to the Lord, and that He is the King of glory and mighty in battle. And I love that particular phrase, because there in Psalm 24, it says, lift up your heads, O gates. And so obviously a gate doesn't have a head, right? Well, it actually does. Back in those days, those gates of those cities, they had this kind of like a architectural fancy head. I don't know how to quite describe it. It was called a lentinel, which was you know how you have, let's say, if you think of the Westminster Abbey or the castles back in Scotland or in England, every gate or the top of these buildings have these ornate heads, or maybe headers would be a better word. So that's the idea. These headers were very ornate, but the clearance was too low on most of these gates. And so that's why David, who wrote Psalm 24, he's saying, hey, you have to raise the clearance, because the King of glory, He's bigger than your gate. He's bigger than your problem. He's bigger than your battles. Isn't that great to know that God is bigger than our problems? He's bigger than your limitations. If your clearance is only 8 feet, if your problem is 20 feet tall, or it's 1,000,000 miles long, God is 3,000,000 miles long. He is more powerful than your problem. He is more powerful than your battle, than your concern. There is no problem that can limit the power of God. There is no cancer, there is no hell, there is no demon that can control or that can defeat the power of God. He is greater than your problems. Greater is He, the Bible says, that is in the world, that is in you, than he who is in the world. The battle belongs to the Lord. But a lot of times we fight our own battles, don't we? We tend to fight other people's battles. We want to fix and help everyone around us. What happens when we do that? We feel overwhelmed, right? We can't do it. No matter how strong your shoulders might be, your mind, your faith, your income, your love, you and I can't bear the weight of the world on our shoulders. We need to give our battles over to Jesus. Anybody say amen to that? The battle belongs to the Lord. And so, we talked about that yesterday, and it was really beautiful. I love my church. We have a model that is a simple, organic model. It's a model that majors really on simplicity. It's an organic, lo-fi, as I like to call it, chill vibe church. We do acoustic music intentionally. We focus on relationships. Everyone participates. Everyone sings. And then we have these digital communities where we major on healing. And I teach out of these different books that I have and trainings that I have taken on biblical healing and spiritual deliverance. And so it's a very beautiful church of about 30, 40 people that are in love with God, with each other. And we are seeking the presence of God every day. And we're live, of course. We are high tech, you could say, even though we are high in love. And we are high in quality, but we are low in terms of fanciness. As I said, we're minimalist. We are simple. It's a simple church that I really love. And it's a contrast to all of the noise that is out there. But really more than that, it's just an answer to the pain and the loneliness that we see. It's wonderful, and I love events that motivate me. But more than that, what I long for, and I feel like post-pandemic, what many of us long for is intimacy, is relationship. Yes, at first it might be difficult. At first, people might be a little shy, but I think especially young and old, really, black and white, we long for unity, for love, to be next to people that love us, that care for us, where everybody knows your name, as they used to say. And that's the event, of course, Sunday. It's simple, stripped down, communion, love, relationship. I know we can't exactly hug as we used to, not these days, but soon we will, hopefully by next year. But we can measure on, as I said, the presence of God. And everyone reads something in our church. Everyone has a reading, or not. You don't have to, but we encourage people to just on the way in pick up basically one of the readings. We have 5-6 readings, and then whoever picks them up then gets to read it. We sing a few songs, we set it up, of course, and then we have just the people, as they say, the work of the people, the liturgy, the work of the people. They themselves participate. It's a glorious thing. It's trying to not just do the presentation thing that I grew up with. And I love, as I said, I love the big event and the stadium feel and the 10,000 or 5,000 or the production of church. I mean, it's beautiful, but I am weary of that. I am so exhausted of putting it on, of being at these events. And as I said, I think this pandemic has made us either really scared to even be out in public or longing for connection. And even though we can't connect the way we used to, we can at least participate verbally. We can read. One of the things that we're trying to figure out is we obviously have a stage, and and then the audience, we're trying to see how we can put chairs on the stage so that we can have 5, 6, 10 people around us as worshipers, and they can sing along with us. And to maybe put even on the stage some candles. We probably can't quite do candles, but some maybe of the battery powered candles, maybe some simple, minimalist, organic type of look, and then have cameras. And as I said, we are high tech because we know that people are watching a lot of times on their phones. Not a lot of times, exclusively on their phones. What I meant to say is that some people may not make it to the service because of just mentally what's happening. And this second pandemic, as I call it, which is the pandemic of the mind. But people still long to be intimate, to have love and relationship. And so that's what we're doing. We're just started basically the last couple of weeks. We're just beginning to really simplify things and make things beautiful, make things Instagram ready, minimalist, kind of that beautiful look that is really, I think it really attracts the soul. Don't you love those Instagram pages where everything just looks simple? Plants and lights and light, meaning natural lighting, candles, nature, just the outdoors. Oh man, don't we all long for the outdoors? Of course we do. Imagine walking into a room at church or on your phone of your church that looks like, I don't know, the outdoors, mountains. I lived in Colorado for 4 years, and my goodness, do I miss those mountains. And I'm not saying I went hiking a lot or snowboarding or any of that, but I definitely love just seeing the beauty. Imagine going to church and experiencing beauty around you. We went to Joshua Tree about 3 weeks ago with my family here in the area, and oh man, at midnight or so, when all the light dust is gone and we're out there in the middle of nowhere, we just sat on top of our cars and we sang "So Will I." And oh my goodness, I should have sang "God of Wonders." Remember that song, all of you 80s kids like me? Wow. And imagine, obviously we can't replicate that in church or on a Sunday, but imagine being able to walk into a room that inspires beauty, awe, presence, organic people, plants. Is there a way that we can even connect our animals, our dogs, I don't mean bringing them into the sanctuary, probably not, but imagine if we could include, I don't know, pictures of our pets, of our children that don't come to church, make the Sunday experience what we long for. How many people have I met or talked to that they just miss seeing their kids, their friends, even now that we're, quote, coming out of this mess. It might be another year, it might be years until we get out of this. I remember talking to someone last April, not this April, but a year ago, and I said, this will take 5 years. And he said, oh, come on. We're going on 2 years almost this next this next March. I don't think it'll take maybe 5, but I have a friend, he's in his now late 80s, and he went through the first pandemic of 1910, and he said, Trigg, it's going to take 2 years. And that was without vaccines and stuff, but he said that's just a natural course of these bugs. And so next March would be 2 years. So this is what, July? So we still have a long way to go, my dear family. So that's basically what I got in terms of the content for today, how to be yourself. The major tip that I have for you is to move towards one of three things: to move towards love, to move towards joy, or to move towards peace. And that sounds very simple, and that's really the message here. Is very simple. It's nothing new. But you have to know which of those three. Obviously, we need all three. But which of those three is the one that gives you the most peace, the most stability? So, for example, if you are, let's say like me, you are a feeler. You are in the triad of the heart, speaking Enneagram talk. I'm a 3. So for us, if you are an achiever, and if you know the Enneagram, if you are a 2, a 3, or a 4, then we need to move towards love. The 2 will try to be themselves, or maybe even they may not be themselves by over-giving, over-serving, giving too much. A lot of people that are very kind and compassionate, they give so much they have nothing left for themselves. So what they need to do, along with the 3s and 4s, is move towards love, towards those people, relationships, places that fill your heart with love. If you're a 3, like me, achiever, always doing more than you should, always trying to achieve greatness, the same is true. You have to move towards it's not what you love, it's what brings you love. You have to be in touch with your heart, really. I think it's a better way to put it. Same thing with the 4. If you are in your head, let's say you're a 5, a 6, and a 7, you're someone who likes to research things, you're someone who really values connection, you're someone who values freedom and fun, you need to be moving towards being more in your I guess you would call it in your body. So be more in tune with what your body is telling you. Maybe you do want to go and have more fun and party more, or go out and have a bunch of friends, but perhaps it's your wife, it's your friend, it's your pet, it's you being alone that is the thing that you need to do the most. You might be someone, a 5, who likes to research, and you're really in your head a lot, and you are very good at scheduling and answering questions. The same is true. You might want to move more towards something physical, working out, going out for a walk, being active, being in your body, as they say, being present to the moment. If you are someone who is more in your head and who deals with fear, who is a planner also, but you also love relationships, but maybe sometimes you aren't taking care of your own body. You're not taking care of your own health. You're getting headaches. You have stomach problems. You are dealing with back issues. So it's best that maybe you don't hang out with as many people just for a little bit, so that you can rest, sleep, take those vitamins, go for that exercise, go for that walk, do exercise, do something active. And then if you are in the body triad, people that do a ton, if you're an 8, 9, or a 1, if you're someone who you're often feeling like you should do more, like you want to move your body, or you feel guilty that you're not moving your body enough, you need to move towards your joy. What brings you joy? And so if you maybe are a 1 and you tend to be a right and wrong person, and you judge people a lot, and you judge yourself even more, move towards the things that bring you joy. Being out with your family, working out, maybe being out with your flowers, or with your pets, being with friends that bring you so much joy. Leave your doing behind, your workaholism, your overworking, your overdoing, and which a lot of it is just you judging yourself that you're not perfect enough, or or that you're too controlling, or that you want more out of life, or that you aren't accomplishing your dreams, you're being lazy. And instead of judging yourself so harshly, or others, which is what normally happens, instead move towards the things that bring you joy. And as you do that, then we will begin to find our true self. So when a 3 like me moves to relationships and love, my dreams come true. I begin to realize how beautiful life is. And so that's how you find out who you really are. You begin to realize, wow, this is really who I am. Yes, I like to achieve and do a bunch of things, but more than that, what I really want, and the reason why I'm doing all those things, is because what I really want is love. And so instead of doing more things to get love, why don't you just simply short circuit that and move quickly to love? And so for me, thinking about how much people mean to me really moves my heart. For example, yesterday, or I guess it was Saturday, one of my friends, he cuts our trees. Beautiful man, about my age. He has 2 kids also in their 20s. And he was just telling me about his daughter who's far from God, who left home when she was 18, came back, and then left again. And he just began to tear up. And of course, I mean, these are the things that I worry about. And all of us dads and parents of kids that are now adults, we think and pray and worry and trust God, right? But it moved me, and it wasn't just, oh, okay, this guy is here to cut my trees and here's your money and see you next year. It was a relationship. And I've known this guy for many years, but the old me would have said, okay, I don't want to talk to anybody, etc. But when I move towards love, and it's always a discipline, it's never feels easy. When I move towards towards love, towards relationship, I get what I want, which is to be connected, which is to be in my heart, which is the most natural thing for us 2, 3s, and 4s. And out of that came a lot of love and relationship, and came a lot of joy. And I brought that up in my message yesterday. I kept it private, of course, as far as the details, but it moved me, and it's still moving me even to this very moment, just to think of the pain that this man feels. And yet I was able to give him hope. And we didn't exactly pray, because we were, both kind of working and doing our things, but we, in a maybe intuitive way, we did pray for each other. And at the end, he drove out with his truck, and this big truck filled with, I don't know, tons of stuff. And we waved at each other. And it was one of those beautiful waves of love and of genuine connection. And that's how we become true to ourselves, is you move towards a thing that you really want. Okay. Well, follow me on Instagram at David Trigg. Thanks so much for being here. If you would like my free coaching, go to davidtrigg.com/free coaching. Thanks again. Where is my mouse here? I can never find this mouse. There it is. Thanks again for being here. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.